In the humming silence of modern life, something has quietly disappeared. Not joy, not time, not freedom, boredom. Once a blank canvas for thought, now erased by the glowing drip of constant content. But what if that emptiness, what we used to call doing nothing, wasn't a flaw, but a feature? What if the death of boredom isn't progress, but collapse? Boredom has long worn a negative mask, something to escape. Yet new research flips that script. In the Creativity Research Journal, participants were asked to endure a dull, repetitive task for 15 minutes. What followed was surprising. They generated more creative solutions than those who skipped it. Monotony, it turns out, triggers the brain to seek novelty, fueling imagination from within the void. But in a world of constant stimulation, where every ping promises something new, we've forgotten how to wait, how to wonder, how to be. It is crucial to distinguish boredom from stillness. Boredom can feel like dissatisfaction, an itch to scratch. Stillness, however, is intentional emptiness, sitting on a rock, breathing, letting the subconscious swirl. This is mental float, the incubator of insight. In such silence, new thoughts emerge, as if dots in the subconscious finally join. Boredom breaks pattern. Under tight deadlines and constant pressure, minds lock into specific channels. Boredom forces a detour. It encourages risk, exploration, even the absurd. It's a crucible for the embryo of new ideas. It also brings clarity. Allowing the mind to detach eases stress, recharges focus. The same brain that sparks movement, thought, and decision, even when we sleep, needs downtime to clear metabolic waste. Neuroscientist Jill Bolte-Taylor compares it to waste removal during sleep, essential. And without enough rest, the brain rebels, anger flares, productivity plummets. Smartphones, social media, streaming platforms, all promise escape, but they steal stillness. Dopamine loops hijack our attention. Endless stimulus drills us into distraction. Neuroscientist Alicia Wolf explains that boredom activates the brain's default network, disengaged from task but essential for creative incubation and social connection. Remove boredom and that network shrinks. Our devices fill silence with content, urgency with pings, curiosity with immediacy. We no longer endure a dull moment, but at what cost? An elder millennial remembers, childhood boredom meant gathering with family, improvising play under a warm sun. In the 90s, books and single-player games took over. The early internet arrived, offering infinite possibility, but still bounded by desktop. Then, smartphones unleashed constant connection. The early internet arrived, offering infinite possibility, but still bounded by desktop. Then, smartphones unleashed constant connection. At first glance, liberation. But without natural limitations, boredom evaporated, and humans, evolutionarily designed to use that void, now became trapped, forced to fill it with distraction. Progress, comfort, instant gratification, endless choice. Tragedy, a hollowed mind, creativity unmoored, a society unable to pause. If progress means speed at the cost of meaning, then yes, it feels more tragic. Boredom was evolutionary design. It forced us to seek real connection, to create, to rest. Without it, we lose those building blocks: creativity, clarity, connection. The antidote isn't rebellion, but reintroduction. Moments of stillness. Il dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. A walk in nature, a 15-minute no-phone break, a conscious pause to let the default network roam. Each break is a restoration. The brain recharges, creativity thrives, we reconnect to self, to others, to depth. In art and philosophy, what we call boredom has long echoed not as a flaw, but as a form of sacred silence. Walter Benjamin described it as the dream bird that hatches the egg of experience, a stillness that nourishes vision before form. Kierkegaard went further. He saw it not as a void to escape, but as the divine pretext of creation itself. Boredom, for him, was the birthplace of meaning. And yet, in the modern world, we treat this silence as an enemy. We bury it under playlists, notifications, and algorithmic rewards. But it's precisely within repetition, routine, and emptiness where greatness takes root. True insight doesn't flash in the chaos of constant novelty. It rises slowly, like mist, in the predictable rhythm of quiet days. Even the most accomplished lives, scientists, musicians, artists, monks, are built on layers of sameness. They return to the studio, to the lab, to the page, again and again. What looks like discipline from the outside is, in truth, a deep intimacy with monotony. The creative act isn't a rebellion against routine, it's the child of it. Montaigne once wrote that our great and glorious masterpiece is to live appropriately. But what does appropriate mean in a culture that fears stillness, where every pause is seen as wasted potential? In our hyper-connected, hyper-stimulated world, the balance between stillness and novelty has collapsed. We lurch toward the new, terrified of the quiet, and with that terror something ancient withers. Bertrand Russell warned that a generation that cannot endure boredom will be a generation of little men, cut flowers in a vase, severed from soil, bright for a moment, then hollow, drained, disposable. To live well may no longer mean doing more, faster. It may mean resisting the urge to scroll, to click, to chase. It may mean choosing the slow repetition of your own thoughts over the endless noise of the feed. It may mean becoming once again a mind that can wait. Not a flower in a vase, but a root in the ground.